Today I'm going to be trying out the Revolution Conceal and Define Foundation in the shade 16.5 for my base and 14.5 to highlight. They are both olive or olive toned foundations, and we're going to see how that works out. Right now I'm just putting some junk on my awful skin. I'm waiting for that to set in because you're not supposed to get it around your eyes. So I'm trying to give it as much time as I can before I wipe off the excess. The only reason I'm mentioning that is because I'm sitting there talking to you guys while I'm wringing my hands, and I'm sure it looks weird. But if I've never shared, I don't know how well that shows up on camera, but this hand isn't nearly as bad, but this one. Okay, so I've already also put on my grapeseed oil moisturizer. This is the Ulta Matte Prime. Okay, it's the Ulta Matte Prime. I'll let that sit for a hot second. I'm gonna put on this eyeshadow base from Amuse. This is a shade Clean Slate. It's pretty much always the eyeshadow base I use. Okay, so let's see. I had been trying out that Urban Decay foundation. Somehow it's not right. I don't know if it's too light or just the undertone's off. It's supposed to be a plum undertone, but it really doesn't seem like, unless it's like, you know, the yellow flesh of a plum, like when you, whatever. But it's definitely not like plum like the outside. So this is the Conceal and Define that I normally wear. This is the shade F15, which I think is a fairly decent match. But I'm now going to try 16.5. It supposedly has an olive undertone, and I've also got 14.5, which also is supposed to have an olive undertone. That one's going to be the highlight, obviously. But I think 16 is good. It's just I don't know about the undertone. I mean, I think it's all right, but I just wanted to try and see if that one would be any better. I don't know. I'm not going to pre-powder because I'm not sure if it's actually getting cooler outside or not, but since we moved to our new building, I have my own office and I can keep it cool. So I've got like 2 fans running all the time, so I'm not nearly as sweaty. So I'm just not going to pre-powder. And I'm also not concealing because this foundation is usually pretty good about coverage. So again, this is 16.5, which has an olive undertone. And I don't think it's olive like greeny green. I think it's more like, you know, I don't know, Kalamata olives, red olives, black olives, how they have that slight bit of green, even though they're so other colors. I know people say red and green mixed together just makes brown, and they cancel each other out, but I think that's to some eyes, not to all. Everybody sees colors differently. Okay, and I'm going to be slightly turned off to the side because this is a double-sided mirror and I don't have anything to cover up the other side, and I don't want to like totally flash out the lens. I think it might be a little deeper than my 15, but I think it'll be okay once I highlight. I think I like the undertone as much as I like the 15. Maybe I'll have to do it side by side one time to see. But I like the coverage. It smooths out easily. Blend back out my eye primer. And now we've got the 14.5 to highlight. I really wish this came in like a squeezy tube or a pump, but whatever. Okay, now let's go ahead and blend that out. Same sponge. I use more of the bigger end here for my foundation, so I'm gonna use a pointy end for the highlight foundation. For a more subtle highlight, I think that works. I would actually probably go lighter if I bought another olive shade for highlight. I mean, for subtle, it's fine, but I'm not a subtle person. So I'm gonna use my Conceal and Define concealer in the shade C12. Just a little bit more oomph. Not gonna put any on my chin though. Oh, and since I think C12 is a neutral undertone, so it shouldn't skew the undertone of the foundation that I put on for highlight. It just makes it lighter, maybe a little bit less of the undertone it was, which was olive. It doesn't cancel it out. This ABH Stick Foundation, this is the shade, okay, my alarm went off. Anyway, this is the ABH foundation in the shade Earth. Something tells me that is not the one that I wanted to use to contour. I think I have one more, but I don't know where it is. I'm gonna throw a little bit of the L'Oreal Infallible in the shade Espresso on there because I can't really see it in the mirror up there, but up here it looks really red. And I wasn't trying to do a red contour. So I'm gonna blend that out using the foundation side of my sponge again. I'm gonna set my highlight using my Ben Nye Pretty Pink powder. Now let me do something with my eyes. I'll be back. Okay, so if I was going for a very subtle makeup look, this is Harvest Brown by Coastal Scents as a base, and then in my crease I used Chocolatier, but I'm not done. I'll be back. Okay, eyes are done. I'm going to brush off my bake. Today I'm using my mystery blush. I haven't used this in a long time. It's like a ton of different blushes that I crushed together. I think they're mostly by La Femme. Now I'm going to use my Ben Nye Nutmeg powder. Set with my RCMA No Color powder. Put on some lip primer. And use this brown black lip liner from NYX. Now I'm going to use the brush that I do my brown nutmeg powder to brush in the RCMA No Color powder. I want to use that Ultra Strobe Balm from Revolution, the shade Euphoria. And since it's a balm, I'm not going to spray my face before I highlight because it's probably a disaster. I did not do that evenly. Whatever, don't care. Use a little bit of rose water. While I'm waiting for that to settle in, I'm just going to put some grapeseed oil in my hair. And as usual, I've realized time is not my friend. So I'm just gonna start slapping stuff on. I really need to do my roots, but whatever. At this point, I wouldn't actually put on any lip color since I'm running late, but I've already lined my lips pretty dark. So I'm just gonna use this Diamond Life again. I was gonna use it anyway, but I wasn't gonna put any on now that I'm running late. I didn't set my face. I use the Pro Fix by Revolution. I'll try to remember to take a picture later. That's what we got. Bye! We are at 11.5 hours. I'm quite shiny, but I mean, I've worn this foundation before, so that's not what I was worried about. I didn't pre-powder and all that good stuff. The color. Remember, I don't put foundation on my neck. I don't know, I think it's a pretty good match. I might have to try out some more olive shades. I think it might be a little bit too, maybe a little bit too deep. But I mean, the next shade was obviously too light because I used that one to highlight. I don't know, I think this works. So I figure I'm going to continue using this shade, which is the 16.5. I might do a side-by-side of the 16.5 and the 15. And what else is there? I also might try to mix the 16.5 and the 14.5 and see how that looks on my face. Maybe I'll do that tomorrow. We'll see. Bye.
Ready for a walk, got my armor gear. Sharpen your sword cause the time is near. Gotta do it big like Bon Iver. I'm a rock star on a chandelier. Off the walls, yeah, I'm about to go crazy. For the beast, anybody that can tame me.